In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 32-inch motorized slider by GVM. So with that being said, let's get started. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Prab, and if this is... How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Prab, and if you're someone new here, I would highly suggest you guys subscribe as we make videos all things related to filmmaking and photography. Speaking of which, today we're taking a look at this motorized slider by GVM. This is the 32-inch carbon fiber motorized slider. Now, a few of its highlight features are that this thing can do parallax shots, it can do time lapses, and the fact that it's motorized opens a whole set of possibilities like the shot you saw in the intro of this video. Now, this is the kind of shot that requires a slider system that can exactly repeat its motion, and that was one of the main reasons why I was interested in checking out this slider. Now, this slider is not perfect, it does have its quirks, and I'm sure if you stick till the end, you'll find out what I'm talking about. But for the price this thing is being offered at, I feel like it has a lot going on for it. Before starting, I do want to mention that this thing was sent to me by GVM for review purposes, but this is not a sponsored video, and all the thoughts in this video are my personal opinion. So with that being said, let's start off by looking at what comes along the slider. The GVM slider comes in this nice padded carrying case, which includes a manual, a set of wires to trigger the camera in time-lapse mode, a ball head to mount the camera, a wireless remote to control the slider, 2 Sony NPF batteries to power the slider wirelessly, a charger, and the slider itself. Regarding build quality, the slider has quite a lot going on here as well. To start off, the rails are made of carbon fiber, so they're nice and smooth. The top plate and sides are metal, the power box and motor unit on the right is made of hard plastic, and the band that moves the slider itself is made of rubber. Overall, the slider feels solid, except I'm not sure if GVM provides any replacement for this rubber band in case it does break. The remote that controls the slider is made of plastic, but it does feel solid in the hand and can be charged by a provided charger. Now let's move on to the functionality aspect of this slider, and as I mentioned in the intro earlier, a highlight feature of this thing is that it can do motorized parallax shots. And in my testing, I found that this thing delivers well on that promise, and you can get some pretty good looking results with a minimal learning curve. Now what I mean by the learning curve here is that you do need to get used to how to adjust this rod so that you can get the correct curvature so as to keep your subject in the center. But other than that, I feel like the slider was pretty easy to use. The provided wireless remote controller is also good to have, as it allows you to control the slider directly rather than having to install another third-party app on your smartphone, while still providing all the necessary controls to operate the slider properly. Now, with the help of the remote controller, you can set up start and end points throughout the length of the slider, and then you can run this thing in a continuous loop. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's great, because then you can use this thing for interview style shoots, but the answer to that depends. The thing is that when this thing runs, the motors on the side make an audible noise, which gets louder as you increase the speed. So depending on how and where you have the mic set up, it might or might not pick up the sound coming off from the motors. For your reference, here is a small audio sample recorded from the camera that was on the slider while it was running. Moving on to the repeatable motion part that I mentioned earlier, here is how I did the shot that you guys saw in the intro. First, I shot the camera without a lens, and then later I repeated the same motion and shot the camera with the lens on. While editing, I placed both footages on top of each other and adjusted the opacity. It was simple as that. Overall, to answer the question that we asked in the beginning of this video about is this thing any good or is it worth it? And my answer to that would be that this thing is plenty good considering the price it's being offered at and the features it's providing. Now, it's not perfect for everybody, as I mentioned the audio issues earlier, but I feel like if you're doing product shots or you're shooting B-roll, then this thing can deliver some pretty good looking results. So with that being said, this was my review of the GVM 32-inch motorized slider. If you guys found this video helpful, I would really appreciate you guys hitting that like and subscribe button. So with that being said, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.